Hello, Canisius. My name is Dylan Grayson, and I am a current member of the class of 2015. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Jim Skipper. Mr. Skipper is a Lackawanna native, graduate of Ithaca College, and former coach, physical education teacher, and athletics director at Canisius. Mr. Skipper, it's great to have you.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
So I guess my first question is, when did you initially become involved with Canisius?
Graduated in 1965, and I applied for the job here and was fortunate enough to get it. So I started between the 65 and 66 year at Canisius High School.
So, I guess, how did you initially start at Canisius?
I was a phys ed teacher,
Yeah.
and I coached cross country, JV basketball, and track. So that was my doings for maybe 15 years. And then I dropped JV basketball, and a few years later I dropped track, and I stayed with cross country for 38 years.
So what memorable moments do you have from when you taught at Canisius?
Oh my God, after 40 years to think of one particular situation, I mean, the memorable moments I have are sometimes now when you see somebody that's graduated and that you taught and you see how they developed and that you had a little part of that in helping them grow to maturity and to be the young men that they are. You know, I can sum it all up, I guess, in that area.
So what led to you being appointed athletics director?
Mr. McGillicuddy, who was athletic director for years and a very big part of Canisius High School and the success, retired. And I was here and was asked if I'd be interested in it. I said yes. It first started off as a part-time job where I got a lighter schedule, and then most of the things I did were done after school. And then it developed into a full-time job with it. And then I got sick. I had prostate cancer years back, and I got sick during that time, and I didn't pursue the athletic director job anymore. I just taught the classes, and I did that for a number of years, and then Father Higgins asked me again if I would continue doing it later on, and I got back into it again.
So who are some memorable athletes that you worked with during your coaching career?
Phil McConkey, Brian Tunney, our baseball coach, who played baseball for Duke, Pat Plunkett, and Eddie Howard, who left here as football players and wound up being All-American lacrosse players at Hobart. Gosh, you could go on every year. Probably one of my favorites would be a boy back in the 60s, Eddie Dorada, was probably the most complete ball player I saw, offense and defense, and he was maybe 160, 65 pounds. You know, you could go on and on yearly and find these students, you know.
So what do you think about the success of some of the most recent alumni who have made it all the way to the NFL?
I don't know if I was wrong, but I don't know if I counted 5 or 6 of them. It's fantastic. It speaks of the school, it speaks of the coaching, you know, that we have here, the dedication that these people have, you know, to want to even pursue it. You know, John Urschel, I don't think we could have a better PR man in the country. You know, everybody knows John, everybody loves John.
So when you began at Canisius, did you plan on having such a long career here?
No, I stopped in to get some experience, and I would put applications in for job after job and turn them down. And before you know it, 40 years came up. Yeah.
So you said you worked with Coach Tenney, and he said in a Buffalo News article, quote, he found a home for his philosophy of placing personal and team growth in young student athletes ahead of wins and losses. Can you explain that philosophy and why you led the athletics department in this way?
I took this job and learned from this job. I don't know how you want to put it, but I'm into the mission of the school. I mean, this way I taught here. no plans on making money, no plans on fame or anything else. I'm part of the mission here. And the mission was to help young boys become young men and become good Christian leaders in our society. And I had the perfect opportunity in sports where I love to win, but I don't believe it's the most important thing. I don't believe we should change our integrity, we should change anything to be successful on it, you know. And I look back at the alumni and talk to them, you know, and it's what Canisius stood for and stands for that keeps me here. I've had situations that decisions could be made, but to change one thing or another, I believe it's important to teach the kids, students, young men, right from wrong.
You started a group for students at the school with losses in their lives. Can you explain your motivation for this group?
I lost my first baby back in the 60s, 65. And I was 66, and I was part of Canisius at the time. And there was nobody there to help, that knew what was going on. And years later, in '85, my 5-year-old son died of cancer. And there was nobody here for my son. My son was a junior here, a senior here. And my other daughter was a senior or a junior at Sacred Heart and so forth. And there was nobody around to help them, nobody to talk to them. So my wife went away and became a grief counselor. And she opened up, she started this program at Suburban, Caring Arms. And I just got into it. There was a lot of kids with a lot of losses here. And there was nobody just to talk to them, not to even talk to them, just listen to them. You know, because all they want to do is share. And we would have meetings, and we would, sometimes you'd have 10 kids, sometimes 20 kids. We'd have a mass every so often, and we'd have our, people would share what they wanted to share on it. But it was a very honest and open situation where the kids could feel comfortable and share. They had confidence in me because they knew I had loss, and I shared my loss with them. So things seemed to blend and worked out. And it seemed to be, it was successful for me. I grew a lot from it.
How has Canisius changed over the years since you initially began here?
Well, it's going to change because there's just different people here, you know, and than when I was here.
So like the foundation and the teachings of Canisius haven't changed at all?
Well, I think our, as a matter of fact, I don't think, I know our president. I'm a big believer, as I say again, with the mission, you know, and the St. Peter Canisius started this mission, and as the Jesuits got ordained, and that they were part of the mission. And as I was here in the school, I became part of the mission. And I still see that happening. Nothing is bigger than the mission of the school, you know, and that's the important thing here.
You said in the same interview that I mentioned, I saw a community, I saw a spiritual program. This is a place you can become part of. I feel part of it. I feel part of the tradition of the school. Do you still feel Canisius is like this today?
People I talk to, yes, I would hope it is. I mean, I was, how do I want to put it? I love to talk about God. That doesn't bother me. I was able to do that here. I was able to, we could have masses. We could have a lot of things, you know, Christian things here. Father Betty, I think, has taken this to such another area that it's just unbelievable. You know, so the little things that we may have done back then, I mean, look at all that they've done in Father Betty's area. I mean, they're just reaching out all the time for things. So I would say most definitely.
Do you still feel a part of the community?
Always. Always, yep. And you walk in here and you just think of the past, and you look at the boys are the same, you know, and it's just, it was yesterday that I was standing in the foyer watching the people leave, you know. Yeah, I do. I miss it. I miss the boys and a lot of the teachers that I know and so forth, yeah. So we, there's a group of us, we call ourselves the Dinosaurs, and we meet every third Saturday of the month. and we have breakfast together. And we share what's then and what's now and things, and so it keeps us, we're posted on what's going on and stuff, yeah.
Are these all members of
All Canisius people, all teachers. There's quite a few teachers that have been here 30, 40 years and longer. You know, and it was quite a group when I was here, and I'm not saying this is any better or any worse or anything else. It's just that we all were part of the mission. We all loved the mission, and very rarely did anybody ever leave. We were always here, you know, and it's and we're still part of it just by meeting together, you know, and stuff. So.
What opportunities has your retirement allowed you to pursue?
Well, the biggest thing that I've done is my grandkids, my grandchildren. I was here, I'd come sometimes at 7 in the morning, I'd leave at 11 at night, and my kids, I missed a lot of what my children did, you know, and when I retired, I picked up on my grandchildren. They played for Sacred Heart. My granddaughter now, senior at U of L, and she plays basketball, and we travel with her and so forth. So I was able to do that. My son lives in Texas, and they have 2 grandsons, and I go down there twice a year to visit them, and things like that I couldn't do before. So that's one of the pluses of retirement.
Well, that's all I really have planned for today. I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was my pleasure being here.